Hello everybody, this is BA Factor,
and Game Girl,
here to bring you some more Planetary Annihilation.
Welcome to our 8-player FFA. We're on the planet Yahucha Prime, and it has one moon, A6454.
Yes, and this is a system that we designed specifically for free-for-alls that host 8 players. Everybody starts with 5 mechs. There's a few mechs spread out around for players to contend with. There's not a whole lot of water, but there is some, and I've placed a little bit of terrain here and there to make some interesting gameplay in between the bases.
There's also some trees here and there to claim for metal. That really helps your resources when you use a combat fab for that.
Yes, it does. And as she said, the moon has 5 mexes on it, so it is the equivalent of a starting base. So you could potentially decide to take that instead of combating somebody. It's about the same cost, I would think. Okay, well, let's take a look at the players that we have in play.
We have the two of us, of course, B8 Factor and Game Girl. The real Gandalf. I wonder who the real Gandalf is. Alucratrepes, Minikin, RG138, Siler, and a Codergerm.
A Codergerm? I don't know. The real Gandalf, Alpha, and RG138, 2 players we play with quite a bit. Looks like Alpha's incognito here as the Gandalf. Game Girl and I do a little bit of PA stats investigation before we launch every game. We know exactly who we're playing all the time. It's important to know your enemy. Absolutely important. Okay, now I've started off here, and as you can see, we have Alpha just to my left. I don't quite know that just yet, but I'm just about to find that out. And you know, my game plan here is to go ahead and I'm going to go a lot of air to start with. I'm going to try to take a little bit of air superiority against the player that I'm going to 1v1 with to start with, so I can try to secure a base. And in order to accommodate not having a lot of ground troops, I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of minefields down, as you can see here, and build some docks so that I'm very mobile. And I'm going to go ahead and eat all the trees I can to get the resources. Now, the plan is, since I know, the Alpha is a good player, and I know that he is doing this, he is using the combat fabricators to eat trees. I know that. So my plan is going to be to go take those out with my bombers right off the get-go, and then harass the rest of his base with docks until I have a significant force, and then just try to go in and take his commander out. That's the game plan, and let's see how that takes place.
Looks like you're targeting all of them quite well.
Yes, I did lose my Air Force, but it was well worth its weight in metal. I did take a bunch of combat fabricators out. That should peak my economy a bit above his. You see that I'm peaking here in the 200 range, and he's in the 100 range. I can guarantee you he was in the 200 range before I had that bombing run.
And he tried to return the favor for you right there.
Yeah, he did. I can always count on Alpha to counterattack. He will do that. Absolutely will do that.
This is a good time to check out the rest of the players and see what they're doing.
Yes, let's do that. So, we know what I'm doing. Alpha and I are doing combat. Why don't we start with that? Now we can see 293. It looks like I am a little bit ahead of everybody else in the metal department. That would definitely be because of my combat fabricators. I do have a set of mexes up here, and I often will send an air fabricator out to blindly go get mexes everywhere. A lot of people are afraid to do that. Oh, what happens if I lose him? Well, what happens if you don't? That's my real question. What happens when you don't is you get a lot of mexes and a lot of metal, and you can produce a lot of units. And sometimes that enables you to keep all those extra mexes when you have all those extra units. But while I'm in the business to attack Alpha, it looks like he is on his way to take out my extra mechs. So that is kind of interesting. And let's look at his base. So Alpha has done the same thing I did. This is really, really interesting because Alpha and I oftentimes go lots of vehicle factories, and then we build a tier 2 bot factory, put out some Geely, and then we have that mixed group, and we macro that, and we push on to another opponent. That's typically what we do. A few games ago, we have a recording posted about this where we were side by side and randomly just decided that we were both going to go mass docks, ironically right next to each other, which was pretty funny. In this game, again, not trying to follow his strategy or he follow mine, we both decided to go a lot of air, which is also very interesting. We're always trying to change it up to win these free-for-alls. You definitely have to be unpredictable to win. And it's funny that we keep mirroring each other's build. Now, it looks like he is preparing for me with a little bit of a fire base. He has his commander tucked away deep in here. I like this. He's building his air. Got his mexes out here. And this is interesting. He has an orbital launcher. He may be deciding to... Oh, somebody else is already here. We'll have to talk about that later.
Yeah, let's see what's still at his base.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that. I was about to say, it looks like he might be trying to take that other expansion on the moon, but somebody already has that. So let's go take a look at that. That would be Orange. Orange is Akodurjim. And yeah, he got orbital first. He's a little bit behind, so if I had chosen to rush this player, I would have been able to wipe him pretty easily. He has no defenses whatsoever. It would be so easy to stop. Look at that. And it looks like his whole goal, I suppose, is to occupy the moon and maybe just turtle in this base, from what I can see.
Well, the way the moon is, you've got to still hold some on the main planet.
Yeah, the moon is only worth one expansion, and in a free-for-all this size, give you some dynamics of this system that we have learned over time. This is a 900 diameter planet, and the moon is quite small, has 5 mexes. It takes approximately 3 bases at Tier 2 to successfully macro your way into a win in this system. So let's go ahead and just keep going east and take a look at green. Green's got a little bit of camo going here amongst these trees. It's kind of difficult to see. That would be Siler. And yeah, his economy's a little hurting right now. I don't think he is really in the knowledge of how effective combat fabricators can be, because he has all these trees around him and his metal's low. He could certainly be doing that. That being said, looking at what he has at 7 minutes, he has a very nice force. That is a lot of units, a lot of production, a mixed mount, a good little fire base right here blocking off a choke point, nice little fortification here using the terrain. So I categorize that as a very skillful play. I just think if he were to add the combat fabricators, he would be able to up it even more.
So let's check out yellow. RG. I like playing with RG. He's a lot of fun to play with. Very aggressive, though. And it looks like he and green are already getting a little battle on right there. Yes. And he has claimed the Pikachu Lake, which is good to always stick a radar in there. Yes, looks just like Pikachu. The radar will greatly help him, and random docs won't be able to get to it and take it out.
He also has a couple of good mechs in there that are hard to take, and it only takes one air factory to really hold that unless they have a lot of bombers.
Yes, looks like he is also neighboring Pink, the real Gandalf. And speaking of neighbors, he is also my neighbor.
Oh, yes he is, and here you are.
Yes, I do not like being on a pole because every time I north up, it flips me completely around a different way. Anyways, I am already at my Tier 2. I'm going around and using my combat fabbers to claim trees, and as you can see, I'm second on the metal. I am also sending my fabbers around to get metal as far away as I can. And I've got this little fire base over here I'm working on. I have queued up this little fire base on the side, kind of hidden behind the mountain range, which is a great place to stick a radar. And, you know, people don't normally go through that area. And I have a plan. I'm going to keep Pink at bay and take a look at yellow in the future.
I do like that. You're right. This is really good right here. Let me explain this to the audience. So, this is kind of out of the beaten path type of place. So this player travels up there, and Pink, is dealing with me and has a main artery that way and a main artery of the army this way. So since there really isn't any mexes in this area right here, that makes it a great location to put a radar, a couple of small defenses, and like 4 or 5 factories you want to hide. It just so happens that Alpha is a good player and knows that same information, so he's done that as well. But against anybody else around, this is a great hiding place, a good secret base. I really like that. I also like that you have the minefield going up close. Sometimes I've seen people build minefields too far away. Building it up close really protects your main nucleus of your base from docks and boombot attacks. I've even been successful at laying a little square of mines around an area where my commander can run to for safety to prevent from getting killed from boombots or docks as well.
And let's see what White is doing. He is working on a few vehicle factories and doesn't seem to be expanding too much. He might be kind of a new player here.
Yeah, he has everything on patrol around his base, trying to play pretty protective. He's not eating the trees for metal. Hasn't really expanded out, even at this point, to get the mexes that are really close to him. So, yeah, he's kind of got a little bit of a turtle style going, is what I would say.
And then Black is right above him.
Yes, Black has already claimed this, was this the South? This is the North Pole. He's already claimed the North Pole, and he is bunkering it in. It's like Superman's fortress right here. It's kind of funny. Let's see what he's got in his main base here. Well, he is actually using his air fabricators to eat the trees instead of a combat fabricator. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is interesting. And he's gone air first. And he doesn't have he's got an air and a bot, which is a good start, but he probably needs 2 or 3 more of each of those to get going. So we'll have to check on him later. That covers everybody in the game.
And I am interested to get back to see what you and Alpha are up to.
Oh, absolutely. This is a fun battle. So where we left off, I am trying to harass him again. I want to get in there and take out as much of his econ as I can.
I like how the two of you are using the same air squadron tactics. You have a nice thrust and parry going on.
Yes, we do. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. I saw him go north and thought he might be trying to flank me, so I sent my air back to protect my base. I want to keep my fabricators alive. But since he didn't come in, I just decided to head out and, take out what I could. I get a few combat and a few regular fabricators, so that's I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you got to be careful with where he's headed with his air. It went off screen for a little bit.
It did. I went out of my radar range and I lost it, so I was up north looking for it, and I believe I go look for it again, and I get out of place. I'm out of position, and here he comes. Very nice flank by Alpha. Very nice.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't have any more bombers than that. You would have been gone.
Oh, yes. That's one of my biggest weaknesses. I can get taken out by air early. Shouldn't tell everybody that, but I often have my commander doing everywhere, all over the map, and if I'm busy with my air, I don't have good protection. Now I'm going to try something here that I don't see a lot of people do often enough. I'm going to go in this early and try to aim at taking out his Tier 1 radar. I feel like with his Tier 1 radar gone, I'm going to have a nice little edge there, and let me show you what I mean. By taking out that radar, what you do not see is my platoon of docks. So I'm going to be able to do what I want out of here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and target some high priority targets. I'm going to get his energy and then loop back around and then set right off here and try to take out his air factories. That's my plan. I can't do that with the air because he has this air defense, but I can stay behind his buildings. Now, if I can kill one building, I can pivot my docks around behind that because everything he has cannot shoot through it. And I'm not really sure why he went orbital, what his plan is in building an anchor. I did not quite get that, but you never know. Alpha doesn't do anything without a plan. He may have worked out a build, or maybe he has some sort of defense in store for me. I'm not really sure. I've got to keep my hummingbirds pretty close to keep from getting bombed. It doesn't take many bombers to take out your your docks, but as you can see, I am starting to whittle away his economy and also his structures. So that's definitely working out pretty well.
Well, I see you've accomplished most of your goal of taking out some high priority targets. It's always a good idea to have a plan in mind before heading in.
Yes, it is. And now that I've got... Ooh! Well, that was a nice Uber cannon. Okay, enough playing around. It's time to find his commander. Now, this is interesting. If you ever get in a situation where you got some docks against a commander, if you just put them on patrol and spread them out and move them around, you can see how effective that is to whittle him down. If I had just been grouped up, I would have lost him with one Uber cannon, but instead I got him down below 50% health.
Oh, Gandalf's on the run. Never give up, never surrender.
Yeah, this was a little easier than normal. I do not think Gandalf was playing. I do not think Alpha was playing his normal game. He may have been under an alias because he may have been trying a new build out. A lot of good players do that. Sometimes they go around in other matches when they're not playing the ladder or whatnot, and will maybe play under another name and go under a different build, and or to try a different build. You know, just basically tool around, because whenever you try different builds, it can really mess you up, and I think that's probably what happened here.
Good game, Alpha.
Always a good game.
In the meantime, while you and Pink were fighting, I am busy working on my base. I've got my tier 2 queued up, and I am going to do a little bit of reconnaissance of my own. Sent out just a few scouts. I see Pink, just as you're taking him out. Gonna see what's up here. Ah, there's Yellow. Oh, that was just a tiny little look there. I didn't quite see what I wanted to see, so pull up ChronoCam, give it a pause, and I can take a longer look mid-game.
Yeah, a lot of people don't take advantage of that, but in the game you can pull up the ChronoCam. It's very nice. You can spot your target, see his commander there. You see the vision of what we can see and what we can't, so that's my question mark. The one thing I do notice, and that's quite important, is that his force is out of, it's out of position, so my boom, or actually your boom bots and Doc should be able to come in just fine and take his commander out.
Well, I'll have to see if that works.
Alright, let's get back to it then.
So he looks like a fairly easy target, and I have been dying to try out these boom bots. I was very unsuccessful last game and realize I've got to send something to scout out with them or they won't see where they're going. So I'm going to head on over there. And here I come. I don't see him yet, so I am just searching for what I can find, and all I know right now is there's Yellow's commander, and I'm gonna do what I can do. Good game, Yellow. I found out after the game that that was actually RG. Sorry, not sorry.
Oh, that was definitely a nice kill. Now, I went ahead and took out Alpha. You've taken out RG, so I'm now looking for my next prey. I'm securing Alpha's base, and now I'm heading in to look at Orange. Scouted him with my Air Force and found out that he has no air defense.
And there's no commander.
No air defense and no commander. I know what that means. He is on the moon. But since he's on the moon and not here, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this base and secure it. Even though he might have the moon, if he only has 5 mexes, I'm going to be ahead of him and be able to catch up. So I now have a third expansion. So yeah, he's been pretty busy. He's certainly secured it, but I bet you his economy, yeah, it is hurting. 85 metal income, that is going to be tough to deal with. Wow, look at this, Game Girl. You are cranking it at 413.
Yeah, I'm trying. I think those tier 2 really helped me.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's pretty solid. Now, mine's popping up and down. That's because I have combat fabricators, but that's pretty good. Looks like Siler and Acolyte is falling way behind.
Yes, and a little hint for Orange. If you're on the moon and you already have metal on the main planet, it's a good idea to build storage while you're on the moon so that you have a little bit of reserve to use if somebody takes out your entire base.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. So, game plan. So we have taken out several of the players. I have White near me, but I'm not really feeling too threatened by him. He kind of seemed like a turtle player. So I'm poking over here to take a look at Green. And, this is just a exploratory force. I was hoping to get lucky and maybe snipe him. But that's not going to be good enough. I kill a lot of his units because I came through the trees and was able to hide his fire through the trees and do that. But I am going to have to set up a campaign to take Green out. It's time to put the troops in motion and head that way. I'm taking the entire lot.
It's interesting you should say that because I kind of had the same idea. Green had been coming in on my second base that I took away at the beginning from RG, and I have a plan of my own.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
I'm still working on using these boom bots, so I'm going to test that out again and put them in motion.
Okay, let's give these boom bots and docs a bit of an adrenaline shot and get them moving. We want to get them into place as quickly as we can.
So you see I put my hummingbirds with them. That way I will be able to see what's going on when I get there.
You also, it adds nice protection for bombers if they happen to come try to bomb you. If you're quick enough, you can get your hummingbirds out in front and take out their bombers.
So while I'm looking for his commander, I'm just going to take out as much as I can on the way.
Oh, it looks like we sandwiched him. I did not know you were attacking him, so here you are trying to find his commander, and I'm moving my entire armada right into his base.
Yes, and I have just a wee little force compared to yours. I didn't see you till I got there.
And I'm just engaging. That is everything I have at the moment. I decided to go ahead and push it all in, carry it all the way across the map, and do what I can.
Oh, looks like Christmas came early with red and green here on Yahucha Prime. Look, there's even fireworks.
Wow, look at that. You got a satellite above it. You're watching the whole thing go down. Yeah, I don't think he has much of a chance now. I kind of held back with my ghillie in the back of that force, but once I spotted his commander, I set the ghillie to attack him, and you can see those lasers have a long, long reach.
So while I was in green space looking for his commander, I also sent my force straight to you, B8.
Yes, and it's probably good timing that you did. Most of my force obviously is in green's base right now. I do have some units in my base because I have a lot of production, so as my force was moving across the planet, you know, I was producing new units, but I'm not really prepared to handle a force that size outside of the fact that I have plenty of mines.
Well, you might not have to worry about it because unfortunately, since I was looking for Green's commander, my eyes were not on my units down here to see that they were just dissolving in your mines.
Yes, you know, mines, if they don't have vision on them, they can do so much. Look at these tier 2 units just falling apart, and I go ahead and try to flank with the boom bots in the docks to kill the shellers and the ghillie in the back. That way I don't take as much damage and can make it through them, because, you know, bots and boom bots aren't going to make it through docks. So, you know, that destruction right there, I lost a lot of mines, but they were certainly well worth it, because you know, that large force you had only was able to take out a single advanced energy plant.
Yes, and that was a huge waste on my part. I should have sent some air over to see what was going on and just didn't do it. And that was a big blunder on me. So I am going to patrol right here to keep you from getting any closer on that side.
You know, that happens a lot. When you're engaged in battle and you have things going on a lot of places, sometimes we just make snap decisions. It happens in the heat of war all the time. Okay, now, you know, Gangrel just did attack me with quite a large force, so I'm making a show of force here. I'm grouping my units up so that if she comes in, and she just did, a satellite came over and saw this, I'm basically saying, don't mess with me, I'm holding off. But I'm not really planning on attacking her. What I'm actually doing is planning an attack on Orange. I want to take out the Orange player who has the moon. He was neighboring me, I took him out, he may have some harsh feelings about that, and he has a moon at his disposal, so he needs to go. And I decide to go ahead and do that in a specific way. I'm going to go ahead and send a satellite for reconnaissance over to his base, and once I do that, I'm going to have boom bots and a nuclear missile at my disposal, and I'm going to decide how to use those units best to try to get there. Okay, so as you can see, I do have vision at what's going on inside of Orange's base, and you know, I do not see any nuke defense. I do see unit cannons, so I think that the nuke and the boom bots are going to work out just fine. I've done this many times. All you really need to do is nuke the commander. If you get lucky and get a hit, it takes only one unit cannon's worth of boom bots to hit on top of them to go ahead and finish off the job.
It's a good idea when you're on the moon, way away from your main base, to go ahead and build nuke defense as one of the first things, because that can happen.
Yeah, nukes are... yeah, I'm sorry. Absolutely. Moons are nuke magnets, without a doubt. So let's take a look. You know, I put that plan in motion to go ahead and take out Orange, and I don't need my force to do so. So I decide, and a lot of this comes with the fact that I cannot attack my wife. It's some underlining rule that we have. I can't attack her until everybody else is dead.
Yes.
So it's a little added, fun for me. So I've got to plan around that one rule, and in doing that, I have orange notched to take, and you can see my nuke launching now. At the same time, I am going to go ahead and move in on white with my force. I have quite a garrison of force here, and I'm going to go ahead and move that in and see if I can take white and orange out at the same time.
And I see you immediately followed up your nuke with your unit cannon.
I did. Let's take a look at that.
Looks like he's building on nuke defense. I'm not sure that's going to be in time.
No, definitely not in time. I got a direct hit. You know, when you hear nuclear missile launched, it really is time to move your commander no matter what you're doing in the game. Because, yeah, rained bombs on top of his head right after that hit. So orange is taken care of.
Looks like you're moving into his base in a long line. Shouldn't you be in more of a formation?
Yes, I should. This is actually quite sloppy. It does do the trick, but because I did move in a line and not a formation, I take him out, but I lose a lot more units than I should. And especially in a situation where by taking another player out, it's going to be a 1v1 after that. You really want to retain as many troops as you can. Oh, I just saw something in the peripheral. Game Girl has not wasted any time. As soon as I took out those two players, she is already looking for targets. She is looking for my resources.
Maybe. Just a few little targets here and there that I'm hitting.
Yes, we've played this game before. This is a dance we do quite often. It's the race to take out the resources of the other player and set yourself up for the end game. Absolutely.
Well, it is just the two of us left, so I've got to do what I can do.
And I have a bit more resources than you, so you definitely do need to be taking those out. And I have a moon at my disposal, which is going to make it very difficult for you to deal with me.
And I certainly don't want you using that gate while I'm trying to get your commander.
This force is not meant to take her out. This force is just meant to force her to overreact, force her to pull her units over here, take out what I can, and then pull back.
Well, speaking of pull units over, I've got a plan of my own over here on the side. I'm going all the way around your units, hoping you don't see me. And I have one purpose with these.
Looks like the mines are stopping you a little bit. I got quite a few units there, but I'm not sure what you're planning on doing with that small force.
I'm getting your nuke defense.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. I've had that happen to me a few times. Once my nuke defense dies, if you see somebody target nuke defense, you should know right off the bat, yes, a nuke is coming. I got a lot of things going through my head right now. I've got to move all my air out of the way, move all my ground out of the way, get my commander into that gate, so launch my nuke at the same time because I know I'm about to lose it. And, yeah, look at that. It's been stopped.
And I am on my way with everything.
And, you know, I knew she was going to send her army right after that, so I tried to nuke her army on the way. I didn't want to waste that nuke, and I wanted to, if I could have hit, it would have been a really good situation for me. But unfortunately, her nuke defense was close enough to our front line that it was stopped. Now, I did get my commander through a gate. I got him to a safe location, so that is good. And that she is going to take out this base. There is nothing I can do about that. That force is humongous. I am on the moon now, and yeah, I'm getting started here. I decided to go ahead and do a Haley. I have incredible resources, as you can see here. 818. I'm wasting metal. Look at this blue. I'm wasting metal. I just got to get a little bit of tier 2 power up since she's taken it, and once I have that up, I can get some Haleys up. And the whole plan is to send that Haley, or send that moon right into her base. She has a really tight footprint, and if I can take this out, we'll be on even ground again, and that's what I want. I want to be on even ground. And I have the resources. I just need to get that up. That's all I need to do.
So I did get through your base, but I cannot find you. I'm sending my air out to see what I can see, and I have several orbital satellites to look for you as well.
Yes, but as we can see in the pip, I am on the moon, and I am working on that plan.
And I soon realized that myself.
Yes, that was a little bit of a blunder. I put that Halley up, and I know that you get that warning sign, and I realized as soon as I started building the second Halley that, oh, she has nuclear missiles. And yes, I see it coming now. I have got to get that nuke defense up and loaded before that nuke hits, and it is inbound.
And just as Orange didn't do, you should have built it first.
Well, I am assisting with everything I have. I do believe I'll be able to get it up, and it looks like, yes, I've got it. Oh, shit. Well, that didn't exactly go the way I had planned.
Well, it did for me.
Yeah, I certainly should have built that first. I shouldn't have given my hand away by building the Halley first. Oh, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yes, it is.
That was our free-for-all. Now, this is B8 Factor.
And Game Girl.
Signing out.
Hope to see you in the lobby.